Okay.
Well, guys.
Test.
Well,
Okay.
guys.
Alrighty. So it's been 2 weeks. We've had a bit of a break. It's midwinter here in Australia. Not sure there's going to be tons of you zooming in, but thanks for some of the subs. Thanks for getting us over this very what do you call it? Extension hobby. Very. Oh, it helps if I put that down. So bear with me here. I had to do an update with OBS, so I'm just not sure what's changed. Okay, it looks like everything seems simple. And I usually unplug my USB mic, which is a one of those desk gaming mics that you put into you sort of tie to your desk and you can move it around, and it's got one of those meshes over it, and it's designed to pick up voice rather than all other sounds. So bear with me here. Also, by updating certain things, I've got, I think I've only got chat for I haven't got chat for Twitch. It's a bit painful. Stream elements, I blame you. Okay, well, we're just going to have to do this because I'm only seeing YouTube chats at the moment. So let me just bring up. Let me just see if this is going to Twitch as well, because it should be. Yeah, we've got Twitch up as well. Great, fantastic. Okay. Get that out of the way. Just want to see. Did I just run from the no, over here? Okay, let me. Oh.
I hope you find something useful.
All right, love.
Be well.
Get this all repaired. Hang on, this. I don't know. It looks like some things have changed here. I haven't played for 2 weeks or so, so you come back, had a break. Oh God, I've got BAM there. Hang on, let's move this up here. Let's move that there. Z frames. Let's bring you up there. Pluses there. Deadly boss mods. Platoon. Method raid tools. Alright, let's send something to my alts. Teleportation. Oh God. Okay, let's send that off. Okay, let me just. What's the quality of this stream looking like? Okay, so we look like we're okay. We're okay here. Yeah. Okay, playing full screen. I don't know if I'm taking performance hit with this new updates. Hang on. Oh dear. You go away for a few weeks, people get upset with you. Oh lordy. Alright, let's I don't know what's going on with my FPS. Pings, I'm sitting around 60, 70 FPS. I'm not. Hang on. Has there been a driver update? No. Why am I sitting around 60? That's getting over a bit over 60. Fans. Just try this. All right, so we've come back. A couple of things we've got to take care of straight away. Let's just get the bag sorted. So at the moment, it is 8:30, roughly about 8:30 p.m. on a Monday night here, and that date is the 29th of August. Unbelievable. I have a birthday just a while back, and I couldn't believe getting to my birthday was one thing, when suddenly it's almost at the end of August. So what we're going to do is... Alright, so what we're going to do is set ourselves up. So we've got our bags. Let's offload some shit. So straight away, some things are going to change coming in this pre-patch. We're going to get early Wrath of the Lich King. So what is it? So it's August going to September. So I started playing WoW, and I say this, I think I say this every fucking stream. I say this every stream. Let me just double check this is all going through. Hang on. Oh, and I say this. Yeah, gotta watch me swearing. But so I started playing roughly in May of 2008 as you don't think you're young, but you're in your 20s, and but you know, and so I guess 2008. My God, how many years ago is that? 14 years ago. So that's nearly half my. Is it half my life? Yeah, it's more than half my life. So it's a good chunk of my life. And so I started in May of 2008. I'd come back from backpacking. I got myself into a job, and my background is at ages, you finish high school 17, going on to 18. And because of the way the things change, I was 3 to 6 months older than the average person in my grade due to when I could join school. My parents put me in straight away, whereas I had friends, when they rechanged it again, he joined school, he ended up being a year younger than most of us, because they did these stupid things in different parts of Australia. So when we got into, say, year 12, which is the final year of high school, he was a year younger than the rest of us, which meant he couldn't get his licence, because he was in grade 11. So, and in Australia, you can go for your learners at say halfway through grade 11. That's all changed now. Like, we're talking a million years ago now. So the rules have changed again so many times. But anyway, but what I'm getting at is I straight out of high school, I had an opportunity to go off to study at university, all that sort of stuff, do a trade, electrician or things like that. And the thing about going off and studying straight at uni, I thought I'd going to be broke and poor, and then I was getting offered to be electrician, a sparky we call them, a mining electrician. So you're sort of a heavy industrial electrician. You still do some of the basic core stuff of an electrician. My grades were good enough, apparently. And the only thing I could say at the time was, I'm going to die. I'm going to electrocute myself, is what I was
You wish to buy?
seeing myself, because I never saw myself. And sometimes you've got to recognize your strengths and weaknesses, and if you know that pretty early on,
Well.
you don't have to muck around. So one of my strengths was I had no problems. Oh god, what the hell is this? Whoa. Sorry, I wonder why that seemed a bit wrong. Okay, we're just gonna make some nether wheat bandages, and we're just gonna sell those. I could pick up a tool, use a tool, whatever like that, but I never saw myself as a trade person, anything like that. And I was more of a people person, you know, to work with people, do things with people. Hence HR, human resources, workplace training, development, leadership, all that sort of stuff. So when I got in the mines, it wasn't easy. It's a whole story in itself how I got into mines. I did grow up in a remote mining town. Right in the outback of Australia, and it's always a bit weird because for sport I'd get sent away to towns to play sport. In my area, it was rugby league was one of the main sports, and anyway, when I would go to these remote townships that were a couple of thousand or 3,000-4,000 people, people would always say to me, "Where are you from?" And I'd look at them funny, and I'd go, "What do you mean?" And you know where I'm from. No, you don't talk like the other guys. And I'd be like looking around, and then, because you'd be billeted with, you know, a family. And I'd be like, what do you mean? Me and this guy come from the same town. Because they have two people for this, you know, staying at this place. And then these people feed you, give you a place to sleep and everything for free. You know, they were doing that out of the best of hands so you could, you know, come and play. And every morning our coach would come pick us up in the training bus, so we'd go training and then we'd play the sport. And but I still remember this, and this has stuck with me my whole life. This happened more than once, and they'd always go, "Where are you from?" And I was like, I just don't understand what they're going on. I go, what do you mean? It goes, you speak well good. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that is meant to mean. So when you're like the ages 9 through to about early teens, you know, when people start talking to you like that, you think to yourself, what the hell does that mean? And anyway, so when I got in the mines at 18, 17 going on 18, oh, have they stopped that? Oh. Oh no. Maybe it was out of range. I've got an auto target macro, so you can see you watch. I just actually I'll go get this other quest to pick it up page. Yeah. So basically, got in the mines and basically at the age of 18, and within 6 months, I went in labouring. I went in as a labourer because my goal, and I lied my guts out to get the job. I said I had a girlfriend, she was pregnant, because they weren't hiring at the time. See, this is the thing. This whole story of how I got the job. You know, I was trying every tactic on the book. The HR manager was trying to get me to become an electrician, a apprentice electrician, and I kept saying to myself, I'm gonna electrocute myself. All this sort of stuff, and I don't know. It's actually my performance of this WoW seems down at the moment. I don't know. It must be this. Let me just check the settings. CPU. I don't know. Maybe it's all in sync. I don't know. So so he rejected me the first time, and he kept saying he's going to keep rejecting me. and he'd only look at me for a trade or because of my grades of my, you know, because I got all these, you know, these very highs to very highs, which I don't know, high B's, A's, whatever, and I'm like 17 going on 18, so I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I did know that I needed money, and being the eldest, the way my old man was, like, I didn't like, from his attitude was he wanted to kick me out of home at like 15, because he pretty much left home, ran away from home at 15, 16 I think it was. That's a whole other story, but he yeah, so I've been the eldest, you know, I couldn't fuck around. So I wanted to get a job. I wanted to prove to my old man that, you know, I could do these things, and my old man really wanted me to go on and get a really good education, go to university and all this stuff. But I, you know, was a stubborn son of a bitch, and it was a manhood thing. And I always clashed with my father. We were like two lions in the same room, and like as I became of age, and it probably helped me that I was 6 foot by the time I was like 13, going on to 14, and then I hit 6'2" about, I don't know, when I was 15 or something. And I was never shy to back down from my old man. But anyway, so I was just, the labouring job in today's money would pay, say, $90,000 a year Australian, straight, you know, basically straight out of high school. About 90,000 Australian dollars, which I think is about 65 to 75 US or something. And that's with no skills, no anything, whatever. Whereas an apprenticeship would definitely not have paid me that money for. I'd have to be in my 3rd or 4th year to see that type of money. But still, apprenticeships are very cheap wages, hence why they're apprenticeships. And so that was my attitude, was that I wanted to get financially independent. And the short version is, eventually, I think it was 6 times I kept coming back every 2 weeks. He told me that I legally they couldn't reject me. They had to send me every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks for the next 6 visits, I came back applying for a labouring job, and they kept telling me that the books are closed, everything's off. And I kept talking to the guy, and in the end, the HR manager, he just got sick of me, and he just simply said, "Look, all right, are you going to keep coming back?" I said, "Yep, I told you I am." I said, "I got my girlfriend's pregnant, you know, I got to look after her." It was a lie. I didn't have a girlfriend. I was making it up. I was saying anything and everything to get my foot in the door. Like, I was out. I ran out of, like, I was like, I'm fit, healthy. I'm, you know, all these things, and I thought, I've got to try something. And he just I remember him swearing. I remember him just going, "F this," and saying, "Righto, but I'm going to make you do all the tests." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "I'm going to make you do all the tests we take on someone who's doing an apprenticeship. So, and we're going to see what you score on that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Now, the other side of the story is that I don't have my Twitch chat up, so I apologise if you are on Twitch at the moment, because updated OBS, I can't see my Twitch and my thing at the time talking. But so, like, I was 17 going 18, and I was turning 18, and it was literally my first 5 minutes out of high school, you know, completed year 12. Now, what had happened is I'd overtrained in doing a lot of weights. I was doing a lot of, I had got really well in shape in my last 11 year 12, and I got myself really, I was benching really heavy. I think it was about 85 to 90 kilos I weighed, 6'2", 6'3", which is about 200 pounds. I think that's in American terms. And I got to the point where I was warming up on 100 kilo benches, 100 kilos is 240 pounds, whatever it is. And then I started benching up to the maximum weights I had at my home gym, which is what my father had. It was about 153 kilos in a bit. And the simple version of the story is I overtrained and I tore my left shoulder muscle. It snapped. It just completely snapped. The weights fell down, smashed me on my chest. I couldn't move my arms for several weeks. So basically, in the course of all this happening, I was applying for this labouring job in the mines where I couldn't use my left arm. It was completely stuffed, and I was in tremendous pain, and the fact that he delayed my application 6 times, so that's 6 times 2 weeks, guys. Every 2 weeks I had to come back and make an application, an interview. It gave me time to heal, but it took about 18 months for my shoulder to like recover, and it's never been the same since. But so what happened is I blagged my way in the end, saying I was married. Not married. That I had a missus and I had a kid on the way. Like I was like 18-year-old guy. Got my girlfriend from high school pregnant. You know, I was just saying all these. This is what I was using in the end to try to get in. And the HR manager just wanted me to do apprenticeship. That's what he wanted me to do. He's like, you've got the education, you've got your grades, you know. And I was honest with him and said, look, I'm not a trade. I'm not, you know, I'm as far away from being in a trade. Like, I have no desire to be an electrician. I'll be honest with you, I think I'll end up electrocuting myself. And eventually on that 6th visit, he agreed to all right, we're going to put you on. But what's going to happen is you're going to do the test. And for apprenticeships, and there's a standard, they just do a physical, and they don't make you do any like math or any other test. But because of my background and because he wanted me to do a trade, a special electrical trade, he forced me to do this big test. So it was all, you know, maths, your high-end maths, physics, all the stuff. So I had to sit there, so I turned up for this test, and I did all this test. It took about 2.5. You had 3 hours to do, and I think I did about 2 hours. So I did the test, and it was all most of it was multiple choice, to be honest with you. And so I did the test. Everything, you know, got done. He told me that while I'm getting the test done, that I'll be doing my physical, and so I went off to do my physical. So in that physical, I had to go to a room. They put you on the weight. They weighed you. They measured how tall you are, make sure you weren't too fat for your height, and your blood pressure, and all that was good. But then they surprised me, and they made me do basic health, basic physical things. And that was, they made me, touch your toes, do star jumps, do this, do that, whatever. Now, you got to understand, I had torn my muscle from my left chest pec to my shoulder. Like, that part where your shoulder on the front part, if you could put your arm, the deltoid goes into your chest, that muscle, that had snapped in there. Now, because I was in a remote mining town, this is mining, mining. A lot of Americans think I say miming, but mining. So this is very remote. You got hardly any medical professionals. Really bad. There's a whole story behind this. So getting that type of support and everything was not, the people in the town earn double to nearly treble the national average wage. But because of the remoteness, we're talking so remote out in the middle of the Australian outback, so far out, like it's so remote. You don't understand until you're there. But there wasn't really top medical people there for you, and there was no internet and all this sort of shit. So I just I remember lying in my bed for 6-7 weeks. I couldn't move my arm. I was in tremendous pain. It was, it took, like I said, it took 18 months. So anyway, we're doing the physical. She gets me to pick up like something really fun, like just a little ball, right? Or it was like a 5 kilo weight, right? And she could tell I was quite strong. I'm 6 foot, nearly 6'3". I'm 200 odd, 85, 90 kilos. I'm fit and healthy, but what you can't tell by looking at me, my left shoulder is fucked. Like I can't lift if you're standing up with your hands out side by side, I couldn't lift my left arm up higher than like 5 degrees. Like, so if you're bending the elbow, like I couldn't lift it up above my head, right? And they wanted me to do these things. So what I did is I started faking, sound effects, and I was like, you're so hard on me. Like, so they were asking me to do such basic fun things, but these are legal things they had to do to make sure that you didn't have any injuries, right? And by doing these checks, this is just fundamental things. Now, the issue was the nurse or HR girl was only like my age. She was like late teens, early 20s. And so I'm a bit of a charming bastard. So I was just cracking 57 jokes a second at her. So I had her pissing herself laughing non-stop because I was like, I'm not getting this close and then getting failed because I have stuffed my left arm up, my left shoulder. So I'm getting her to laugh, and like she hands me this like, I don't know, like some little thing that I just got to squeeze in my hand, and I could squeeze it with both hands, but lifting it up, everything on my left side I couldn't do. I just couldn't do it. And I couldn't lift my arm up. You know, I really couldn't do much with my left side at all. So what happened is that I did everything from the right side first, and then I was panicking a bit, but you wouldn't have probably realised that I probably looked the most confident person in the world. So when she made me to replicate it on my left side, I started and I was doing all this fake noises like, oh, cheers, and trying to make it like I was really struggling on the right side. And at first she thought I was serious, and then she realised, oh, you're just taking the piss. I said, you're so tough. Oh, please, am I signing up to the Marines or something? And she was just like laughing, going, right, yeah, whatever. So when I had to replicate a lot of the exercises on my left, with my left hand and arm and raise my shoulder, right, I just, I was in tremendous pain. So I was like, oh, and I was overemphasizing it on my right side. So when I started to do with my left, I just kept throwing all these jokes and making her piss herself laughing, and she was getting shy and going red. She turned away a couple of times, and I did it while she was turning it back, because she just presumed, oh, look, this guy is like 18 years of age, he's straight out of high school, he's fit, healthy, he's in pretty good bloody shape, he's a pretty good looking dude, I better, and he's trying to chat me up, but I'm gonna, not really pay attention. And I thank the God I didn't get some old battle axe who would have torn me a new one. So I'm just, like I said, so she doesn't look at me directly when I'm doing everything on my left side. So I can't remember the exercise. It was just really simple stuff for like lifting arms up, lifting them out in front. And I'm just like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, no. And she was like, she didn't get shitty with me, but she's like, oh, stop mucking around, stop faking it. I said, no, I'm fine. Come here, shake your hand, I'll lift you up and all this stuff. But the reality was, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, and I should have failed the physio. But because I blagged it, and I was bullshitting, and I was cracking jokes, and I was... And you got to understand, not a lot of Australians understand this... Why is my FPS so fucking low? A lot of Australians do not understand this, but you got to be from my neck of the woods. The art of bullshitting. It's like an Australian down-to-earth thing. There's lying. Like if you stole someone's, say, money. Let's say you stole someone's wallet or purse and had their money in it, and they accuse, did you steal my worst Apollo? And you go, and you lied about it. That's just lying, right? If someone come up to you and accused you out of the blue for something like that, and you had nothing to do with it, and then you started going, yeah, no, I did. I stole your bloody wallet because I've got... and just say this is in high school, just say you were 13, 14 years age. Okay, yeah, I stole your wallet because my wife, she's got 4 kids, I'm trying to feed them, and I'm trying to, and you blag some, crazy story where but you'd seem so like, you're like real confessing it. So it seemed like legitimate, but if the story was so exaggerated and, there's no way he's married to a 40-year-old woman with 4 kids and he's trying to make house payments and all this sort of crazy stuff. Righto, okay, no dramas, yeah, okay. And the reality was that in that scenario, I was like, what the hell would I even steal your wallet or purse, you stupid son of a bitch? But in this scenario, it's the art of bullshitting. So my father was very good on it, and I always joked, about the Jedis, my father was a Jedi, blah, blah, blah. I would always say I'm a bullshitter. My father was a bullshitter. His father, my grandfather. We were classic great bullshit artists. But it was a way of telling a tale and spinning a yarn rather than just, blatantly being like lying to people about... why can't I see? All these things that have... I tell you what, I run a few updates... Friendly players' names. Okay, let's put that on. I have left my guild, actually, to be honest with you. I left it a while ago. Probably about a month ago, I think. We'll go in here. And, I'm just gonna quickly do these quests.
The reckoning is at hand.
Glory
What
to
do we
the
got?
Sindorai.
We'll do airstrikes. We're not gonna do all the quests
All
today.
who oppose us.
Rolakai Christo.
Battle must go on. Yes.
Remain vigilant.
Yeah. So I was blagging and bullshitting this like HR admin girl or slash trainee nurse, whatever she was, and long story short is that I should have failed the medical. I was physically, I was not physically strong to do that. You know, I was in a lot of dramas, and the truth was, getting in the mines at age 18 and doing that physicality, it was really hard physical labour work for the first. Well, it was non-stop physical labour, but like I said, it was earning the equivalent of $90,000 Australian straight out of high school, which is, like I said, 75,000 US, with no qualifications or skill or trade or anything like that, and no skill or qualifications or trade or whatever. And so I made enough money and I got promoted really quickly, ended up managing people and running people, that I made enough money and got enough leave to go up and go backpacking and traveling around the world. And let's just say I got addicted to it, and I was such a young, you know, left in my early 20s and went off backpacking, and I ended up going for several years. And when I came back, I was basically addicted to drinking and partying and going out all the bloody time. And WoW was an excuse. I said, I've got to find something less addictive than playing WoW. Than drinking and going out every night. And I was probably spending the average of $60 a night on piss, 5 nights a week. It's not a huge amount, but it depends on how much you're earning. But, you know, I was able to, when I came back from backpacking and traveling, when I was traveling, everyone kept saying to me, kept offering me sales jobs. These are cousins and rallies of mine that I would meet, and they say, you should be in sales, you should be in sales. And they kept offering me jobs. I said, well, firstly, I'm on a traveling visa, and I can't technically get a job without breaking some law. And I think they get a bit shirty if you turn up and you get employed and everything like that. And I think I'd be banned from the country from here on in or something. And Emissary of Hate. Okay. I've only done this about 50 million times, yet somehow I've forgotten. I don't know how that works out. Okay, let's get this one over here. I don't know if it's my eyes have gone crazy or this. I seem to be really bad latency, FPS here. I'm not sure. How's that translating to the game? I don't know. We'll work this out. We have to fix this up for Raph. Anyway, yeah, so I wasn't a millionaire, but I made some good money. I had some solid cash and went off backpacking, traveling, came back, and playing WoW was my version of getting away from... oh, fucking hell. Alright, everything wants to attack me, so let's get the fuck out of here. Holy Jesus. Yeah, so that was my outlet, is to come into WoW, and I started in May of 2008, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I basically played until Wrath come out, and it was probably by December into January at the time that I actually got into raiding and dungeoning and actually understanding how the game worked and how items worked, and oh god, crazy days, crazy days. But so let's go outline. So what we need to get rid of is these, because this is going to devalue so quick, because Spellstones and Firestones are going to take over for the Warlocks because they're just so good. There's so many good things going into Wrath that become effective, and there's such a good core game that they can take out of it. But a lot of fucking RPGs got rid of all the total RPG-ness because it created its own niche, and it gave you played this game for those things, and it gave the game such depth. But all these games like Skyrim back in the day and everything got rid of these things more and more because they were like barriers to a lot of average people. And I guess, and I get it, having a marketing and sales background myself, I completely understand that if I was producing a product and I got limited money, I want as many eyes or many hands or many people as possible get into the game and play it as much as possible. And that's what Blizzard had at one stage. You know, they had 12 minutes. They had a record amount of people subscribed to this. Just unbelievable amount of people in the world playing the game beyond, you know, anything now. And people loved a lot of the RPG elements to the game. Oh god. But a lot of games since then have dumbed down. Like I think Skyrim. I was never a big Elder Scrolls fan, but I believe the Elder Scrolls before Skyrim, you know, you had a lot of abilities and stats and everything like that, and there was more RPG focused character development, creation, and all that sort of stuff. And I think they must have realised that was the average player is daunted by that. And I think you want the blend of an FPS shooter like Call of Duty or Modern Warfare, or whatever the modern games are, and you just make it happen. And you want people to be able to jump in and play the game. And that's what Wrath did for me, is that I was able, if I only had a limited time to play, trying to get a dungeon group together made it just impossible sometimes. But by jumping the random dungeon queue, you know, you auto popped it, you went out questing, so you either gain gold or XP or leveling, and then you got a couple of dungeon runs in, and off you went. And if you had a good group, that group stayed together for the next dungeon, so you had an instant queue. And it helps if you're in a good guild, but like not all of us. Like I'm someone who pugged a lot. I was not someone who had the time to, because guilds are sociable. They're sociable things, you know, and that's what I've experienced in Classic and TBC Classic is the barrier to me has always been having the time. So thanks to the pandemic, I've had the time to play these games beyond what I would have back in the day, and also having a solid guild, because it doesn't matter how good you are as an individual player, you're not going to outperform. You know, you need the strategy and everything like that, especially raiding. Like my guild choked we killed Muru a couple of times, but then they just choked. It wasn't so much killing the final boss. It's just that
remember the sun well.
It was just that turning up and performing for the rest of the bosses. And they will deny this, but the leadership, because I was good friends with them until I quit, basically was saying, oh, we got this on farm, and I was laughing, saying, we have not got this on farm. We are dying too much to basic stuff, because, you know, and a lot of it was basically strategy and just performance, and a lot of people were just really phoning it in, man. And so I was extremely competitive. I'm fairly driven, but I don't want to be running the show. I'm just sort of happy, turn up, press buttons, blow these things up. So I'm prepared to take, you know, I do that in my real life. I don't need to do it in my day-to-day on the game. But yeah, it was frustrating that we got Muru down a couple of times, and then basically the leadership, yeah, they got lives, and they wanted to chill out and just log in and have the raid team perform like a well-oiled machine, but they kept losing players. They kept losing good quality players because there was a lot of frustration with the way they were running the show, that they just seem to be changing the tactics every fucking time. And when we just successfully kill something, they rechange it again. And we're like, why the fuck would you change it? So we had an incredibly high DPS team, but we played the strategy that if you slipped up, we'd basically wipe. And we'd always be going for like this Hail Mary, like attempt on the bosses. And with Sunwell, if you don't do it right, you get smashed. And like Brutalis, Felmist, you know, we'd punch through twins fair enough because we had such incredible focus DPS. Yeah, I just laughed when they suggested we had Sunwell on farm, and I said no, we do not. And then we lost 3 to 5 core people, a couple of healers, a couple of solid DPS, and then there was these fringe guys that kept just turning up, or you know, only, you know, not always being available, and they put the rest of the groups under pressure, and they would turn up, and then they would still get given items and stuff, and I'd be like, geez, you know, they've got it good, man. They put the raid group under pressure. They don't turn up for runs. Loot drops, and they're given the loot as priority. So, in the end, for me, I'm happy to share loot out, but also there were times I should have gotten loot because I was one of the main DPS. And yeah, I was like, nah, fuck yeah. I was like, I'm not going to suck about it. I'm an adult male in my in my 30s. And, oh shit, will I get that all? Yes, I will. I'm not going to spit my dummy over a game. Oh god. What am I running in? Oh, okay. Now I understand why the game might be struggling a bit. Oh, I can change it down. Yeah, I'm not going to spit my dummy over a game, but at the end of the day, if you're going to give these other dudes that aren't turning up, putting the effort in, they're having time off all the fucking time. Yeah, kids and life and other stuff, that's fair, but they're putting the rest of us under thing, and then instead of looking after us cores that are turning up and being on time, turning up, being there for all the hard times, seeing these cunts come and go and cherry pick when they want to be there. I'm like, well, if I start doing that, but as an individual, I don't hurt. But when those guys are constantly doing it, you know, it pisses you off. Oh, hang on, my phone's going off. Who am I in trouble with now? None. But yeah. So that's why I ended up leaving my Sunwell raiding gear. But not sure exactly where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. There's new servers meant to be coming out. I don't know. Don't know if I transfer to an American server. I don't know if I go to Argyle, which is the PvP server. I would love if I could to race change, but if I leave the server, I can't take all the gold with me. I've got nearly 22k. Oh, 21k, 200 gold. I can only take 5k gold if I server transfer, apparently, under Wrath ruling. So, I don't know if I want to do that, personally. My other characters is a level 70 Paladin, and then there's a level 69 Mage on this particular server. I'm a Warlock. I've been playing a Warlock since mid 2008, so I'm going to stick with it. But we're going to see certain things. I'm going to have to change the settings. I don't know why my FPS is so bad when I'm streaming. It's 60. Normally I'm 80 to 100. So, again, I haven't played for a couple of weeks, and I just downloaded all these patches and updates and OBS as well, and, you know, happy days. But look, I think the key thing is offload items, get your banks cleaned out. You're going to need all the space you can. I've got so much stuff that I probably need to... We're going to check the auction house, so we're just going to see how certain things are. Oh, yep. We can go here.
Our enemies will fall.
Okay.
The reckoning is at hand.
Okay, so we've done that. Oops. That's when you mistake one thing for another. Hey. Go back to Strat. Oh, happy days. And it's going to be good to be on pre-patch, man, because, oh, man, I am noticing... Hang on, I am noticing this change. I disabled the triple buffering. Oh, God, I am noticing that big time with my eyes. Okay. Oh, I'm getting 80 FPS here. Okay. Seems strange. All right. Okay, let's just bring this out. Let's just talk here. Alright, let's just try to offload this stuff. I can't imagine people would be silly enough to buy any of this. Oh, prices aren't as bad as I thought they would be. What do we got here that we need? Oh, these arcane tomes. Yeah. Like those as cheap as possible. Okay, let's check netherweave cloth. If netherweave cloth was getting down to 12, like it was getting down to almost vendor prices for netherweave cloth because people are silly. But people didn't realize that I could, it doesn't seem like a lot, but yet I'm sitting on 20 odd K, but I was buying so much netherweave cloth up and making it into heavy netherweave bandages that I was doubling my gold I was buying and spending on auction house because people were just buying and selling, just dumping netherweave cloth because you can't make any, the price of mats. So I'd use the cloth to make tailoring pieces, which I would disenchant into, I think it's arcane dust, and other products, and blues. But that market's collapsed because, by the time you add up all the costs and the time to do it, you're not making any money. If not, you're losing money. And I was just like, oh, well, bugger that. So you just vendor it now, effectively. Heavy bandages, if it's cheap enough.
How are you?
If it's cheap enough. But you'd have to check your service. But if it's, you can see the prices. Where are we? We'll get rid of those. Okay, no drama.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Now, at the moment, my gear... I'm not 100% close to BIS. I'm fairly close. So I've got the Hex Shrunken Head. We only got what I'm aware. I believe before I left the guild, we only had one of those trinkets from Muru Drop, and that went to the raid leader. I got the Skull of Gul'dan, fantastic trinket. I only got this in late May, June. Loop of Forge Power, again, I made that one myself, and that's a great drop from ZA. And then your tier 6 parts from Sunwell, so that's the boots, that's the legs, belt, and the braces, and they're phenomenal. You can see that what they just got 4 stats. They got 4 stats on them, plus they got sockets. Then we got the sexy leggings of the Calamity, and then we've got I made the gloves, and obviously we're still wearing a tier 6 helm. Probably should have got the neck, but it was given to someone else over me, and I'm using that back for non-rating because it's got a lot of haste on it, which is good. But here's the Fel Conqueror chest. Now this is 24.33.71. I had the chance of buying the chest for $5,000, the raid leader, but he decided it instead of giving it to prioritize to the best, the most. Oh, is it gone? Hang on. It was up here. Oh, here we are. The Sunfire Robe. He said, look, I'll give this to guildies in guildies if whoever wants to pay for it, $5,000. And I was like, oh, okay, we have to pay $5,000 for it. So the one prepared to pay $5,000 was the Boomy. So the Boomy, who probably is going to get the less advantage out of that before pre-patch, bought it. So as you can see, it's 40 crit. So what's this one? It's 24. So that's a bit different. 40 haste versus 33, and then we've got 71 spell power versus 71. So it's got a bit juicier. More, so 7 haste, which it adds up in the crit. It adds up. It does add up. It is. it's a lot of RNG, especially in a Warlock, but that's all going to change. Ideally, would I love the Sunfire Robe? Yeah, but I was not going to spend $5,000. Even at $5,000, I was not going to buy the robe simply because we're so close to Wrath, and I thought $5,000 is going to go further for me in raising stats or raising professions than buying a robe that may last well into raiding in Wrath of the Lich King, but you know, I was trying to get this chest straight away, but it went to the Affliction Warlock, and then the second time this dropped, I went for it again and said, well, that's what I want, and you know, I got it, and can't complain. But I honestly be trying to flog off everything as quick as possible. I'd be trying to liquidate things as quick as possible. The best prices have gone. I'd be like trying to get, you know, I'd rather get gold now than not. And if people are going to buy stuff, they're going to buy it. You know what I mean? They're just not going to. They're not going to delay. They're not going to wait. They're just going to get stuck in. Okay. Okay. What do we got here?
Great to meet
And there's a lot of stuff I need to get out of my fucking my bank, but I'm not going to put you through that because that'd be boring content. But look, I've had a couple of weeks off, working hard, family, life, love. I've come back. I just talked about some of my life. I went off on a bit of a tangent. I needed to speak. I needed to chat. Now, hopefully, I've got to go talk to an ex-guild leader and see if he wants to have a chat with me, because he's trying to get me back to the guild. He's trying to get me back to the guild, but and I may be back. So I'm gonna love yous and leave yous, and pre-patch is tomorrow. It's midnight Australian time, so it's about 9 o'clock now. So we're looking at about 27 hours from now that pre-patch will come out. I don't know if that's going to cause any problems, but we'll find out. But anyway, as I always say, smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast, and I might be back later on tonight. Other than that, see you in Wrath pre-patch and Wrath of the Lich King, hopefully, unless we end up in jail. But talk soon. Ciao.